Do you have an old pair of jeans? Is your doll walking around pantsless? Well, I, McKellen Moose, can help you out with that. Because today, I'm showing you how to turn a pair of your old jeans into a pair of jeans for an 18-inch doll. So keep watching. Alright, for this project you're going to need scissors, needle and thread or a sewing machine, buttons, a doll, and some old jeans. You're going to start by taking your old jeans. These I've already used before. I made a jean jacket out of them. I'll link the video below if you want to see that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my doll and I'm going to lay her out. You've got some extra going down here on the bottom, and I'm going to cut it a little higher. I'm going to go towards her middle section and I'm going to cut. You look, it starts off a little bit thinner and then it gets a little bit wider. So I'm going to put the thinner portion up around her waist. So I've laid her out on top of the jeans. I'm going to cut straight down the middle here. And I'm not going to cut out any extra fabric. I'm just going to cut straight down the middle. With that done, now I'm actually going to string up my sewing machine and we are going to begin sewing. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I've got my sewing machine all ready to go. I'm going to take the pants, I'm going to flip them right side in, wrong side out, inside out, inside out. And I am going to go to the bottom where the footsies would come out. I'm going to flip them so you've got that little bottom piece, and I'm going to sew all the way across. So that's done. You can see that side I did pink. Got a little weird because the seam's there, so the stitch kind of got a little crazy. But I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other side, to the other pant leg. But okay, so both sides are folded over and sewn on the bottom. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it out so that cut is back in the middle again, that split, and then I am going to sew straight up the middle and then down. So we may have to adjust the sizing a little bit because I think these pant legs are going to be a little big, but as I've said in other videos, always go bigger because you can always go smaller. You can't make something bigger again. And here we go, sewing the pant legs together. So I'm going to flip them right side out and I'm going to try them on the doll and just see if I need to adjust the size of the pant leg or if I like the way it's at the moment before I move on. And the this hip portion is definitely going to be big. I know that. Alright, so this is what the pants look like when they're on. They're really loose up top. We will remedy that. Say hello to Moose. Where was I? Yeah. But I actually think that the size of pant legs look pretty good. If you don't like how loose they are and you want them tighter, or if you're starting with bigger jeans, you might need to go smaller. So, on to the next portion. Cat butt. Yeah, cat butt. Okay, we'll just try to do that with a furry leg in the way and a tail. No, we can't do that. No. Really? Honestly? Seriously? So what I need to do is fix the top portion, and I'm going to cut a little slit about 1 inch long right up here, right in the center of the front. This is going to be where the, so to speak, fly would be. Okay, that's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it right side out again, and I'm going to hem the top so we don't have that rough edge. And how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to fold over. I'm just going to fold over a little bit, and then I'm going to sew it. Alright, and I just want to point out to you, that I did a much smaller fold over up here than I did on the bottom. I did a big chunk on the bottom just because I needed to make it the right length for her foot, so I just guessed, but you see how they're different. I think I'm actually going to have to go down a little bit more, so I'm going to cut down to make up for that little edge that I folded over. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, my pants are still flipped the wrong side facing out, and I'm going to fold the edges over on one side, and I'm going to sew it. Okay, so I did it on both sides. I folded it over, I sewed, and now I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to put it on my doll to see how it fits when I close the now big gap. As you can see, it's a pretty big gap, but that's because when I put the button on, we're going to cross it over and make it fit better for her. So I'm going to put it on the doll. Pants still look really big on her, but if we cross this over, it's going to have to go over quite far, really far actually, and it's going to make the crotch of the pants look funny. Burped. Let's put more. So we're going to have to pull it over really far to get that to buckle. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually fold it over again and sew it again so there's less fabric here, and then we'll button it. Alright, so I flipped over the edge, I sewed it up again. I like the results a lot better when I pull them together. It doesn't crinkle up as much. So what I'm going to do now is pick out a button. I've picked out just a plain black button, and I've got my needle and thread. I'm going to sew the button onto one side. Okay. Sewing on the button, and I'm sewing it a little ways in. Okay, so the button's on. So now I need to put it back on my doll to see where I can cut the buttonhole. So, hold on. Back on my doll, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make sure that it's tight around her midsection, and I am going to pull the top, I'm going to pull the portion that doesn't have the button over and see where it falls with the button. I see a big bulge there. I know the button's underneath there, so I need to cut there. And so I'm just going to cut a tiny little hole and then enlarge it just enough for the button to get through. So there's my little hole. Now I'm going to put the button through. Needs to be bigger. I made it a little bit bigger. And perfect. Excellent. Alright, so you can leave your buttonhole like that, but I like to sew around the edges just so they don't fray, they look nicer. I don't know. I just like sewing around the edges, is what I do. So I'm going to do that. So I sewed around the edge there. It's not the best job ever, but it will stop it from fraying. You can do yours better than I did mine, or you don't have to do it at all. Whatever. So now I'm going to button the pants. Show you kind of what it looks like. You can leave your pants at this. Just plain Jane, but I think I'm going to add a pocket on the back. So in order to do that, you're going to have to pull up your pants again. Okay, so pockets. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out a small square from the jeans. And I'm going to do 2. This just involves a lot of folding and sewing. So you'll fold over the top, you'll sew it. Then you fold over the side, you sew it. You fold over the other side, you sew it. Then you're going to fold over the bottom in like you're making like a baseball diamond. I'll show it to you when I'm done. If you want to see a step-by-step analysis of how to make a pocket, watch the how to make a jean jacket video. I show you how to do it, but I'm just going to do it. So once you're finished with all your folding and sewing, you'll end up with something kind of like this. And you're going to go through and you're going to cut off the excess fabric in the back. And so I made 2 of them. I already cut off the excess fabric on this one, and now what we're going to do is we're going to sew the pockets to the back of the jeans. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew it to the back of the jeans, and you're going to try to stay as close to the seam as possible that you've already made, but you're going to leave the top portion unsewn so that way you can actually put things in the pocket. I'm going to do that now. I apologize about the blinding light. So I sewed on the pockets, not as easy as I thought it would be. The front of the pants make it kind of difficult to navigate with the sewing machine. So sewing by hand, maybe the best bet. Anyway, I'm going to put these pants on the doll. So here are the pants, the pockets in the back. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, comment down below anything you want. You could comment potatoes, that's totally cool. If you have any ideas or projects you'd like me to do, anything that your doll would like, tell me in the comments, and subscribe because that's cool. Also this week I am giving a shout out to Olivia G and to Lily Flowers. So thank you for watching my videos, guys, and I will see you next week.